Family, it has been a while since we've had frozen pizzas in our freezer. Today is the day. Hello family, welcome back. If you're new here, welcome. I am Vicki and you're with Gravy in the Kitchen. So it's been quite some time since I've had frozen pizzas. We're going to do that today. And plus, what I'm planning on having for dinner tonight, I need one of those pizza doughs to make some breadsticks. That's a whole nother video. But I woke up early this morning and I went ahead and made 2 batches of sourdough bread. I've already done the stretch and fold 4 times in a 2-hour period. Now it's just sitting on the countertop doing this bulk fermentation because one of those I have plans for. The other one I'm just going to make into bread. First, we need to make the dough. So I have 3 cups of room temperature water. I'm going to add a 1/4 cup of sugar. 1, 2, 3, 4 teaspoons of dry active yeast. And we'll give that a stir. Perfect. And we're going to add 8 cups of all-purpose flour. I have a 1/4 cup of olive oil. 1, 2, 3, 4 teaspoons of salt. Mix that in the flour just a bit. And I'm just going to mix that with the dough hook until it all comes together. That looks good. So my pizza dough, oops, that came out too easy. My pizza dough is actually 4 regular sized pizza doughs, but I turn them into 12-inch cast iron skillet pan pizzas, so it's actually 6. But like I said, one of these is going to be breadsticks for tonight's dinner. I do want to knead it just a little bit more. There we go. That looks good. Now you could weigh this, figure out how much each piece is going to be, and I don't bother with that. I'm just going to cut it in half. There we go. This one's a little bit bigger. Let's borrow a little bit from here. And then each half I cut into 3s. There we go. All right, that looks good. And to roll pizza dough professionally, I used to do this. Worked in an Italian restaurant for over 30 years. You're just going to take your dough, pull it around, and pinch that side together. Turn it a quarter turn, and repeat. And repeat. And repeat. Until it's smooth on one end. The other end, you're going to pinch that all together, and you have a dough ball. Pull, pinch, quarter turn, pull, pinch, repeat, 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 and repeat. All right, let me do the other 4. And I proof my pizza doughs in Ziplock bags. And to save money, I reuse the bags over and over and over again. When I get a new clean bag, I'll coat it with some olive oil, maybe 2 teaspoons. Swish that around. Then I put my dough in. Make sure it's well coated with that oil. Get as much air as possible. This will go into the refrigerator to proof. And then when I make the pizzas, I will take these same Ziploc bags, fold them up, put them in another Ziploc bag, and I keep this in my freezer so I can reuse them over and over again. So I just take a bag, put a little bit of olive oil in there. Now one of these is dinner, so I'm gonna leave it on the countertop. The other 5 are gonna go into the refrigerator. I usually put it on that bottom long drawer where I keep my butter and let it do a bulk rise. These will be ready to make pizzas in about 12 hours. But I'm not gonna lie, I've gone as long as 24 hours. Hopefully I can get these in the freezer today. This one is going to stay right here till tonight. I need to go and pick up my milk and eggs. And then when I get home, we got other things we need to do. So I have the 2 loaves of bread in the oven. We did the stretch and pulls. I let them bulk ferment on the table. I shaped them and I stuck them in the refrigerator. Tonight, as soon as I got home from work, I stuck them in the oven. So they're still in the oven. So it's 2 loaves of artisan bread. The pizza dough, I have 5 left. One the husband and I had for dinner when we made lasagna. You'll see that video, I believe, Saturday. As soon as the bread comes out, we're going to start making our pizzas. All right, that one is ready. So we do have one bread ready. And I can tell you they already look better than that one we had in the freezer. And the second one's ready. So I'm just going to leave them on top of the stove until they can cool off. I have 2 of my 12-inch cast iron skillets. I'm going to put these in the oven. So they can heat up while we roll out the dough for the 2 pizzas. So a piece of parchment paper. Now this dough has been in the refrigerator since yesterday morning. So it's been over 36 hours, but that is okay. So I got this handy little tool from Azure Standard. That looks good. I have a jar of pizza sauce. We made this back in October. I have some avocado oil. Do need to fill that really soon. And I have some cornmeal or polenta. Went ahead and took a bag of 1.5 pounds of grated mozzarella out of the freezer. So here's one of our hot cast iron skillets. I'm going to put a drizzle of avocado oil. And just a pinch of polenta. And our pizza dough. We'll put a little bit of pizza sauce on the bottom. This one's going to go in the oven, and I'm going to grab the other pan. avocado oil, a pinch of polenta. Keep forgetting, I want to keep that covered so I know it's hot, even though I do know it's hot. And a pizza dough. In the oven for about 20 minutes. And when I take them out of the oven, I'm going to add a little bit more pizza sauce. I'll add the mozzarella. I don't want to cook the mozzarella when I'm par baking the pizzas. When we're ready to eat them, we'll take them straight from the freezer, unwrap the saran wrap or the plastic wrap, put it on a pizza pan or back into that cast iron skillet, and we'll bake it. And that's when we'll finish cooking the crust and melt the cheese. Went ahead and took 2 more out of the refrigerator so they can start warming up a bit while we're waiting for those to cook. So we already have the first 2 out. I have the second 2 in the oven. Now they're ready to come out. And this last one, I am going to turn into just breadsticks to have for right now. So I'm going to put a standard size cast iron skillet in the oven, let that heat up. And as for these 4 pizzas, I'm going to add some more sauce. And then some mozzarella cheese. You can make it as light or as heavy cheese as you want. If you want to go ahead and put pepperoni on it before you stick it in the freezer, that is fine. If you want to add vegetables, sausage, family, you have control over what you're going to put on your own frozen pizzas. We like to just make it cheese. And then when we're ready to cook it, if we have pepperoni, the husband will put pepperoni on it. I don't mind having vegetables. I'll grab some frozen peppers because I always have some peppers in the freezer. Onions, doesn't matter. I'm going to let those cool off completely before I wrap them up and stick them in the freezer. So we're going to make breadsticks just so we can have something right now. So the skillet is super hot. I just put some avocado oil, put a sprinkle of polenta, and my pizza dough. It's in a smaller pan so that it'd be thicker. I'm going to add a little bit of olive oil on the top. I really need to fill my oils. That's good. About a half a teaspoon of garlic powder. small little pinch of pepper, and a half teaspoon of Italian seasoning. And I'm going to have cheesy breadsticks. Back in the oven for about 30 minutes. And as for my oiled Ziplock bags that I use to proof my dough, I'm going to put this in the freezer until the next time we need to make pizzas. We're done with the polenta. I'm going to use this sauce as a dipping sauce for my breadsticks. So that's one loaf of bread. And the second loaf of bread. We'll leave them right here, and tomorrow morning I'll cut those, put them in Ziploc bags, and then we'll have bread for the week. And as soon as the cheese melts on those breadsticks and that breadsticks gets a nice crisp to it, we can have breadsticks. When I wrap my pizzas, I make sure there's a parchment paper on the bottom and a piece of parchment paper on the top. I close it up completely with plastic wrap. I turn it a 90-degree turn and wrap the other way. Now I'm going to put these in the refrigerator until they cool off. Tomorrow morning I'll stick them straight into the freezer. We can cook these straight from the freezer. We'll take the plastic wrap off, take off that top parchment paper, keep the bottom parchment paper on there. We can either put it in our cast iron skillet or a pizza pan. 400-degree oven for about 20-30 minutes. We want to add toppings, we can, or we can just leave it as a cheese pizza. So this is going to go in the freezer tomorrow. The bread I'm just going to leave right here. Let it cool off completely before we bother with cutting that and putting that in a Ziploc bag. Let's check on our breadsticks. Oh, family, it's beautiful. Oven off. Perfect. Let me move this pan out of my way. And that's the rest of the pizza sauce we're going to use as a dipping sauce. So do you buy frozen pizzas from the grocery store? Have you thought about making your own frozen pizzas to have ready for when your kids or grandkids or even you and your spouse want to have pizza? If you thought about making it yourself, it is so simple, family. So simple. And the breadsticks is just the same dough we make for pizza. We just don't put the sauce on it. We have the sauce on the side. That is so good. In the description below, I'm going to have the link of the pizza sauce. I basically made the normal marinara sauce or pasta sauce, and some of it I seasoned it just a little bit more garlic powder, onion powder, and oregano, and I turned it into a pizza sauce. But I'll put that video down there how we made it and canned that sauce. The cheese I buy from Azure Standard in a 5 or 6 pound brick. And I just grate it all right then and right there. Put them in Ziplock bags at 1.5 pounds because that's usually what it takes to make 6 pizzas. Keep it in the freezer. That way it's ready to go. So if you don't mind, give this video a thumbs up. And while you're at it, please subscribe. I would love to have you part of the Grammy family. In this kitchen, we cook our meals from scratch as much as possible. Sourdough bread. I have videos out there on how to start a sourdough starter and making bread. Check the description below and all that information will be there. So until next time, y'all have a blessed day. Bye, family. Turned out to be a good day.